Hello and welcome to the Match's second podcast. Nothing quite like a bit of samba music to start your day. We've been around the grounds again, and this week P&E managed a 0-0 draw away at Charlton. Emily, how did it go?
Well, it was stalemate at the weekend for Preston North End. The Lily Whites notched up a goalless draw against relegation favourites Charlton Athletic at the Valley, with both teams struggling to produce any clear-cut chances. Boss Alan Irvine will be satisfied with a point away from Deepdale given the club's recent away form, and he was quick to commend his side's team spirit.
Emily, the result, is that the end of their chances for promotion now, really? I mean, away Charlton, you've got to be winning them games, surely.
Well, the result does leave North End just outside the playoff spots in 7th place, with 7 games left in the Championship, one of those being a tough away game at Birmingham. Realistically, the side's away form has been their Achilles heel this season, and Alan Irvine will be massively disappointed with that. The home games they have to win. Every game is a must-win. Every game is a cup final, and I think it'll go down to the wire at QPR at home, the last game of the season.
Have they got what it takes? Do you think you're confident of them doing it, Emily?
To be honest with you, I don't think they're good enough. I don't think the calibre. The Premier League is the best league in the world, and I think Preston North End have got a long way to go before they can achieve promotion.
Thanks very much, Emily. And the women got their first win in a long time, Treve Whitford.
Actually, their second win in a long time. Thursday night, they had another crucial relegation battle against Tranmere, and they came out 3-1 victors. I understand it was a really good game, very spirited performance. Yesterday was bizarre, to put it in one word. Strolling at 3-0, very comfortable. Hannah Bailey got the first goal. Gemma Watson then chipped in with a very good goal. She looks a very good player indeed. And substitute Sarah Walker came on and scored her first. But then the referee sort of wanted to take the limelight, and he awarded a penalty for a supposed shirt tug, but speaking to people after the game, nobody saw what it was. Then Preston went up the other end with Sarah Walker to kill the game off. But there was still time for the referee to give another penalty. There's actually no reason. There was no reason. After the game, he gave nothing and no one knew. So they got another goal. The away side got another goal afterwards, and they were lucky in the end to run out 4-3 winners.
So a bit of a dodgy referee yesterday, was it, Treve?
Very dodgy referee. 12 men came to the QED Stadium yesterday to play Preston, I think. Sheffield Wednesday agreed with that as well.
It's quite controversial from you, Treve Whitford. It's what we like to hear, So, Joe, a narrow loss for the Hoppers yesterday, and they got off to a bad start.
A very bad start, Sam. 21-0 down in about 8 minutes, and then they lost Liam Milek through injury. I think he got a cut in his eye, and it was too bad to continue. But I think really that killed any chances they had of winning the game. It killed it off, and I don't think they could really recover from there.
Liam Oliak, he's a big player for them, isn't he, really?
Yeah, all the other kids are, really. They've got another lad called Tom Brady and another lad called Alex Zavelis Roebuck, which is a bit of a mouthful, but
well pronounced, Joe.
Well, thank you very much. But they're the main men, really, for Grasshoppers. You know, when they play, they have a lot of youth, they have a lot of ideas, they've got a lot of pace. When they don't play, they look a little flat. And I think they really missed probably a Milek at the weekend, and then they've missed him a few times this season. They've really struggled with injuries.
So despite the loss, there's encouraging signs there for the youngsters.
Yeah, I suppose so. But it depends how long they stay at the club, because obviously they're only on loan. Then, you know, they mightn't stay next season. They might do, I don't know. But, you know, it really does threaten their chances quite a bit if those players leave the club.
So a bit of uncertainty at the club then ahead of next season, really.
Maybe, yeah. They don't seem to be able to get a settled team out each week, and I think, you know, they seem to have a lot of players in and around there, and I think that their form shows that they've been very, very inconsistent. You know, they concede quite a lot of silly tries, but they can score tries. But I think the main problem, they need to get consistent 15 out, and they need to get consistent, need to get a consistent team.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for that. And John Collins was at Fylde this weekend, and they played against Hull Ionians, and they won. And Nick Royal was the star performer, John.
He was. He got a hat-trick, and it was a sort of typical performance from him. He's so quick and dangerous. And there was his final try. He scored 2 in the last minute, and one of them where he literally went past about 4 or 5 players. So, yeah, he was definitely their main man today.
Other than that, how did the game go, really?
It was a good game, and because they were playing a side, Hull, who were noted for being very solid and hard to break down. That's how they got most of their points this season. So it was a good score, but to be honest, it should have been more because all their conversions were missed today because their main kicker, Stephen Nutt, was out with injury. And they had 4 different players taking their conversions. So if all of those were converted, it would have been a much bigger score. And the only points they kicked today was 1 penalty. So to be honest, it was a good performance, but it definitely should have been more.
And what can they expect for the rest of the season then? What are their hopes now?
Well, promotion's still a statistical chance, but it's very unlikely. I mean, they have to rely on two other teams dropping points. There's Nuneaton and Caldy above them, but unfortunately they both won with bonus points over the weekend. I spoke to their director of rugby at the weekend, and he still believes there's a slim chance, but they're sort of going into every game not banking on it, and it's out their hands basically, but there is still a slim hope.
Thanks, John. And last but not least, Lancashire have started their season off now, and they're playing in a sunny Abu Dhabi. Unfortunately, the match couldn't send out our cricket correspondent, Tom Binns, as the cricket crunchers hit us just as hard as everyone else. But Tom, they got off to a win on Thursday.
They did. Young Paul Horton chipped in with his first century of this season. He was around the fringes last season and has shown a lot of promise. And it was a great chance for all the first team squad to pitch in a good performance in front of their new coach, Peter Moores. And he took his chance really well with a really first-class 100 in the first game of his season.
And obviously it'd be encouraging for Peter Moores is a win against his old side.
He has said before that it was always going to be a bit of a fun experience playing against his old side, especially the side that he really did make his name with, to be fair, winning promotion and then the county championship in successive seasons. It must have been quite an odd experience for him.
All right, they've started well, but they've lost their second game against Essex Eagles on Friday, I believe.
They have. I think it was a bit of a reality check. It's one thing that Lancashire have really struggled with over the past few seasons, and it's probably been their Achilles heel in that they just cannot build up any sort of consistency. Although the team was very similar, certain people just don't always perform to the best of their ability all the time, and that's something that Peter Moores is really going to have to work on this season if they are to be successful.
So with the season kicking off in a few weeks' time now, have they got a chance of winning it this year? Can it be the year for Lancashire?
Well, there's been a lot of change at Lancashire this year with Mike Watkinson moving to Director of Cricket and obviously the inclusion of Peter Moores as the new coach. Things are looking bright at Lancashire. There's a lot of young players in and around the club who have shown a lot of potential over the past few seasons, and it is about time that they come to the forefront and really pitched in with big performances on a more regular basis. Obviously the inclusion of Peter Moores and that international experience can only help players, but they are going to be without some of their biggest stars. Obviously Jimmy Anderson and Flintoff are going to be involved in very busy summers internationally with England, so they are going to have to do it without the likes of them to be successful.
Thanks very much, Tom. That's all for now, and that's the end of our second podcast for the match. Be sure to tune in to our website at www.ukjournalism.co.uk/the match for the rest of Preston Sports News. We'll see you next week, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.